G'day, I'm Mark from Self-Sufficient Me, and I'm hovering around the backyard veggie garden, in fact where I grew this corn that's included in this recipe, in inverted commas. I'm just going to explain this pretty quickly. First of all, you've got to grow the heirloom corn like this type of Aztec corn because it's best for grinding. It's got a harder type shell. It's called flint corn, and that's the best type for this kind of recipe. Grow the corn, then pick that corn and let it dry for several weeks. You can let it dry on the plant if you like, but most of the time people pick it and then let it dry somewhere else off the plant itself. Then you've got to remove the kernels. Once you've removed the kernels, give the kernels a good wash under nice fresh water, rinse them out, get rid of all the dust and stuff off them, and then let them dry, because you want them to dry before trying to grind these up. I use a coffee grinder in small batches, it's fine. In fact, storing the kernels whole is probably a better way than grinding them up into a cornmeal or a flour. And then you can just grind them up as needed, especially if you are going to use them as a crumb. They're a lot fresher that way. And when you're grinding these kernels up, you're going to need to sift them out, a medium type fine sieve. Sift out the larger pieces. You can put them back into the grinder if you like to try to grind them down, but then you'll ultimately be left with some or a small quantity of hard, larger pieces that you can feed to the chickens. I use chicken thighs. I haven't shown the bashing them down, but basically I flatten the chicken thighs by beating them with a meat hammer until they are nice and flat, and then brush or dip with a plain egg wash. So that's just eggs that have been lightly beaten with a spoon or a fork. I just brush them over, as you can see. Once I've brushed one side with the egg wash, I just season with a little bit of salt and pepper, and then cover with that cornmeal, pat it down, and then repeat on the other side until you've got all your pieces done. Fry it up in some olive oil and cook it until it's cooked through properly and golden brown, just like any sort of schnitzel you would buy or cook yourself. And I like to serve it with a slice of lemon for that sort of Italian feel and taste. And people can just squeeze that piece of lemon over that, and it gives that extra sharpness. And of course, serve it with whatever sides you like. In this case, I just had just a rough salad that I put together, but you can serve it with veggies or anything really. I can put my hand on my heart and say that this was one of the tastiest things we've had in the last couple of months. The boys and Nina really loved it, and I thought it was delicious. You had that little bit of crunch. It was different to breadcrumbs. It was, had a little bit of that corn taste obviously, but it had a really nice crunch and texture about it, and it was moreish. I really felt like having two. The boys really loved it. I recommend you give it a go right from scratch, right from the growing of the corn to the milling in inverted commas yourself of those kernels, and then coating whatever piece of meat you want to make that sort of schnitzel style food. Just loved it. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye for now.